Ice Vanilla Incha. Let's get this up to 1,000 so we can start the live. Yeah, this is the bullshit. Hi, Marjorie. Hi, Marjorie.
Yeah, are these people even normal?
They're really weird individuals.
It's what is that? Is that a Haitian person or what or Puerto Rican? Who's doing
They're
that?
they're Puerto Rican, Cuban, Haitian. They're all they're all
You know
together.
the person on this page doing that voodoo crap on me.
I know. It's so stupid. You weren't here yesterday? We confronted one of them.
Oh my gosh.
I call them the
Yeah, these people
Transformers. There are a
are.
lot of There are a lot of they're transgender characters.
Oh my gosh, are they having issues? Like just because we have different opinions, they want to attack us in every way, even spiritually.
Yeah, we expose the fake tribes that are doing this whole Haitian invasion thing, and then they sent these Transformers to try attack us with the voodoo. But last
Well,
time
let
I
me just tell them like this. Whoever is doing that, return to sender, and my angels and God is protecting me. Being
okay,
said that, so don't worry. Sometimes people that have done that to me, it return back 10 times worse. So if you're doing that to me, I will be very worried about you because it will come back to you 10 times harder.
exactly. So they just recently a voodoo some Haitians were on a boat, and they were doing a voodoo ceremony, and the whole boat caught on fire and sank.
Yes, I know because I think that stuff is gonna scare people, but guess what? You mess with that stuff is gonna bite you in the butt.
Exactly.
But yeah, they're just they're just getting crazy, or and we could just see it.
This is why, hi guys. You can like as a female, you guys cannot be showing your faces. Yo, they're doing voodoo on Margie.
Uh huh.
Oh my god, you guys
They're
have to
doing
be
voodoo
like
on
just private.
everyone because she's like saying
No,
all.
when I first started this, like three, no, it could be 4 years almost. I had my page public, like on Instagram, and yo, I would get so much voodoo priests like following me, and I'm like, oh
Oh
my god, they
really?
have my picture now. So now, like, ever since I've been like, I don't show my face anymore. Like, I barely go on TikTok lives because people be recording all the time. But I don't know, like, you have all those pages ASAP.
All
This
the
is what I'm saying. That's their religion. And I'm glad that this is being exposed because they claim that they're Catholics and that they're Christian and all this stuff. But look at here, it exposes them who they truly are.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So in a way, yeah, I'm glad that it's
Um,
exposed.
Listen to this
but one
person.
thing I hate when people be saying, "Oh, it's not real," like the stuff, like the voodoo or black magic. That shit is real. Like
Yeah, but that's
I
why you
believe this shit is
send
real.
it back to
But
them. You have to say return to
it's used for
sender.
bad only.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's only used for bad. It's never used for good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying. They have been always been trying to say to us that they're not. They don't mean to do anything in
Harm.
yeah, to do any harm. Listen to this person, Leon Mario. Is East Haiti safe? East Haitian pride. You see, they they say to us that they don't mean to do anything with their systematic invasion, but they are proving themselves that they are actually, that's what they're into. They're into doing this harm to Dominican people.
Because they hate us, and that's how they always find a way to harm us by our lands physically and even spiritually. They are attacking us in every single way, in every single aspect, and I'm glad this is being exposed because that's truly what they are about.
Yeah.
If you're attacking me spiritually, let me just say in Jesus' name, you guys are gonna get it. Because if you're attacking God's people, it's like attacking his eye. The Bible even says it.
It's true.
You know,
Um,
me as like someone like I just like I've been like reading more about DR history and stuff like that. And, like when I was younger, I always I was like, oh, they put the cross in the Bible just because we were religious, but like it was more than that. There was a reason that we had like Dwight they had to put the Bible on that flag.
exactly.
And not even like the most religious Dominican will say that like they're glad they have that Bible on the flag.
Yeah, my dad always told me about
Yeah.
it. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
So Dominican Enlightenment, they have so many accounts. If you type in Bejique Quisqueya, you will see all of the fake accounts they have for with my name.
Are you?
And then
They're saying you're Russian. Are you? It's okay if you're half Russian. You're still Dominican.
That's just the funniest thing. I mean, I actually explained everything about this in a live recently, and then they published it on a YouTube channel called Toxic Trends of TikTok.
Yeah.
So basically, I was saying that I started to learn the Russian language way back, like when I was about maybe 12, 13 years old. I just like a little bit. But then, because I knew that one of my cousins in Dominican Republic was, he had lived in Russia. And so, I said, oh, that's really cool. Let me study Russian. So I started to study Russian. And then eventually when I was older, around 20 something years old, I think it was like 26 years old, I really got serious about it. So I learned the whole Russian alphabet. I started learning the grammar, got some grammar books. I learned everything at home from books. And so then eventually I got interested in the Russian culture, or at least what I heard about it. And so I went to like a Russian Orthodox church with some friends to just ask them like, what is Russian culture? Because I didn't really know what Russian culture was. And so from there, I went to the Russian Cultural Center in DC, and they were having an event to commemorate the first man in space. Officially, Yuri Gagarin. So then I got an invitation from the Russian Cultural Ministry to go to Russia, and I did. I went there and I stayed like about 10 days in the Russian Museum in Moscow. They actually made a little room for me in the museum, and then I visited another city called Ryazan, and I was in an air balloon race.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then I went to St. Petersburg for.
Oh, I went to St. Petersburg too. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
you were like into like the Russian culture and the Russian history.
We're learning about the culture and the
Yeah.
country.
Do you still have do you still speak the language?
Yeah, I mean, I can. I'm a little rusty right now, but the minute I hear it, and then like I start to,
That's
you know, I can
good.
read Russian.
Cause
You know.
yeah, cause I could, you know, me like like if I didn't know you and I was seeing those like posts about you, I'm like, okay, she's probably half Dominican, half Russian. That's fine, cause there are a lot of Russians now. Like in the past, they were Russians, like Jews that moved to DR, but now
Right.
we're getting a lot of Russians now because of war and Ukrainians. So I was like, whatever, she still has Dominican lineage in that her like she still has Taino DNA because she's half. But I guess
Yeah.
they're just posting stuff in your about your past life that you did.
Well, they when I was sharing with Russian speaking friends, when I was living in the U.S. Uh, I would just make like some kind of satire, you know, because I just like to make fun of things in general. So there was one time that two of my acquaintances, we dressed up to go. We decided to go to the Cherry Blossom Festival, so we were thinking to take photos and stuff like that. And so we all kind of like got dressed up, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, we look like a couple of housewives." And so we were all speaking Russian, and so I said, I made a like a photo, a satire album on my Facebook page, and I put Russian Housewives of BC. I was just making a joke, and so they put that there as if that meant that I was actually Russian, and then they just have this whole story, and then they say, "Oh, you're not really Dominican. You were a Russian person adopted by a Dominican man." But then, if I was Russian, like in order to be adopted, you have to be a minor. You can't just be, you know, like. And if I was adopted like at 6 years old or whatever, which is usually like, you know, around the age that children are adopted, I wouldn't remember anything about Russian language. They say, yeah, she has a Russian accent. She speaks Russian. She was definitely adopted as a child. Like that doesn't happen. Children who are adopted as, you know, from Russia, they don't speak any Russian. Like after a couple of years, like they completely forget everything. So this is just like total bullshit.
They're just
But
yeah.
they're just inventing stuff.
So the thing is, people, these are attack. Basically, what's in the background is an attack on Dominicans. You know, spiritually, physically, by our lands, everything, everything. They're trying to attack us every way. We cannot speak up because they want to shut our mouth. But we're here, and we're gonna continue speaking up the truth about what's going on in our country. Why Dominicans can't get along with Haitians is because Haitians feel entitled over our country and lands.
So Giovanni Francis asks, so you're not Russian at all? I mean, look, why do you think? Okay, so Giovanni, can you come up and ask? Can you come up and like explain like why is it so important? What my ancestry is like? This is really weird.
I think people want to know because they're seeing the stuff.
Yes, there are a lot of fake accounts. Hi, Giovanni.
Hey, no, I was just the thing came up on my news feed, so I was
Oh,
just looking.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was looking at it, and I said, "Oh, she's probably mixed, or probably because I know a lot of Russian Jews went to Dominican Republic and Jamaica during the war, so a lot of they intermarried with a lot of people on the island, so it's very common. So it didn't really mean anything to me per se." But then I was also just looking at what they were posting, and I was a bit confused. So I was like, are they trying to say that she's just 100% Russian and is pretending to be indigenous? So I wasn't sure because I was looking at multiple videos from the page.
Yeah,
So
they're saying all of those things. They're saying that okay, so it's like depending on how much you've interacted with me. So let's say, for example, I talked to you about like being a Dominican citizen, living in Dominican Republic. I've turned on my camera and showed people I'm in Dominican Republic. So they're like, "Oh yeah, she's there, but she was adopted as a child from Russia." You see what I'm saying? It's like everything is centering around Russia, and depending how much you've interacted with me, they'll tell you a different story about what my connection with Russia is. The truth is that the only connection with Russia that I have is having actually visited there and speaking the language. That's it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, like yeah, sure. I have European ancestry. In the United States, European ancestry is called Caucasian, and Caucasia is it's actually a region in Russia. So I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
But my ancestry, my European ancestry is West. I call it West Asian.
West Asian? I would think it was, well, yeah, that's funny.
Far West Asian.
Because you do have like reddish hair, so you know.
Oh, yeah. My grandmother
It's like reddish brown.
was redhead. Several of my siblings are very redhead, like super red.
That's so. See, my mom is redheaded like brownish hair. She has.
Yeah. My grandfather also on my father's side, he kind of got reddish hair toward like when he was older. His hair, instead of turning gray, it turned red.
But it's like, okay, it's obvious because all of us here on the panel have like European ancestry. That's a given. But we're, basically we're just saying we're Dominican and we have Taino lineage too as well. And it is our land because when you do if you do an ancestry, it connects you to the land and specific areas of the land.
Exactly. Yeah. Recently I was like on a Dominican Patriots live, and they said, "Oh, there's that girl," because like about right before the presidential elections, because they heard that my family was voting for Abinader. So they were like, "Oh, she's doing that because she's Haitian. She's doing that because she's Haitian." And I said, "I'm not Haitian." I said, "I'm Dominican." And so anyway, they recently asked me. They said, "Well, oh, there's that Haitian girl, whatever. She's not Dominican, blah blah blah." And so they said, "Well, what's the serial number on your cedula?" And I was like, "I can't give you my cedula number." Then like, "That's crazy." And they're like, no, like just the very last number. And I had never paid attention to that before, but apparently you can tell where the person is registered, like like under which area of the country their lineage is from.
Wow.
So I said, "Well, it's a 3," and they're like, "Oh, that's San Cristobal." I said, they said, "But you." They said, "Where was your dad born?" And I said, "Well, the capital." They said, "Well, that's not the number for the capital." And I said, "Well, even though my father was born in the capital, but my family's house and all like all of my cousins, our land is in San Cristobal in Jaina, so that makes sense. So that's the way that people are registered in Dominican Republic."
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting for me. Like, oh my, that's really cool because even though my father was born in the capital, but still he's registered under the San Cristobal family. Yeah.
San Cristobal received a lot of French immigrants.
Yes, exactly. I know. That's one of the things, we need to find a way to get them out of there because they're just squatters.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're talking about something else. Espanol.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you have to be more clear when you say. What she's saying is when Haiti had their issues under French rule, a lot of the white French Haitians came to that area many centuries ago, and they're mulatto, French Haitians. So that's what she meant, not the think today.
Oh yeah, sorry, not the current ones. No, they're not French at all. No,
Oh, we've
they're
been
wanna
calling
be French.
we've been calling them French Dominicans.
French Dominicans.
Oh my God, no, guys, you can't call them
Wait.
that. They're not French at all. There's nothing French
Or
about that.
Congolese.
They are
Congolese.
totally French Dominicans.
They have the mindset of colonizers.
No, I think worse than the colonizer. At least the colonizers know how to set up they know how to administrate a government.
I met a really nice Haitian Dominican guy or something like that, or Dominican of Haitian ancestry, on TikTok, and was very interesting. He's a young guy, and I think he literally was born there, but I think his parents are Haitian, and so he was explaining his life on TikTok, and people were telling him that he has Dominican swag and Dominican mannerisms and everything. You know, he was kind of like just saying, "Why can't I just have swag? You know, why does it have to be? You know?" But it was very interesting because you can
Because
imagine.
the only ones that can really have swag are Dominicans. That's why.
Giovanni, we have to do a live together on well, of course I'm gonna do more research on it, but on voodoo because you see the background.
Yeah, no, I do, but the thing is, I don't want to get into a clash with voodoo people. On
Oh,
TikTok.
that's true.
But these people, they are I call them transformers. They're people with body dysmorphia, and they part of the fake tribes, the fake Taino tribes that are spreading false information about the Haitians being the original Taino, and saying that Dominican people we descend from Haitians. So
Is this
So
a Puerto Rican lady doing that voodoo stuff on me? A Puerto Rican or it or whatever it is?
So who's the
Yeah,
person that
there's-
owns this account?
Okay,
They're Puerto Rican voodoo person. That's
you
doing this to
see,
guys?
if you type in my name, they're doing a bunch of they're making a bunch of accounts with my name.
Okay, so
Well,
what's going?
let me just say, return to sender, bitch.
Exactly.
Okay, what's going on? Because I saw that Giovanni was here.
Yeah, Giovanni's here.
Well, I saw.
They're trying to do voodoo on me right now.
I wanted to know what was going on because I'm getting weird videos on my For You page, so I came over here to get some clarification. That's why.
Yeah, because I saw that Giovanni was on a live, and that's why I'm here. So
So basically, the person that's doing the voodoo on me is Puerto Rican or are they Haitian?
Joel, you have an echo. I have to take it out and bring it back up.
Yeah. So are you saying the person that's doing the voodoo on you is Puerto Rican? I thought they were Haitian.
There's one of them is no. So I haven't actually seen the Haitians doing the voodoo. A Haitian woman did make a video, but the thing is that the Haitians are trying not to be identified as being the voodoo practitioners because that's pretty much like one of our main objections to their culture here in Dominican Republic. So they have Cubans, Puerto Rican, mainly Puerto Ricans, but it's Cuban, Puerto Rican. What else? Yeah, Cubans and Puerto Ricans doing this voodoo thing that live in the United States, by the way.
Oh, and they don't like what you're doing, so they want to put voodoo on you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I happen to be also, on her live, so of course they're gonna come after me as well. That's why that was my old account name. That got blocked and I lost that account, and I had to make this one.
you want me to? You want me to unblock a couple of them to see if they come up here? Because yesterday was hilarious.
They're gonna come with that voodoo language.
The voodoo stuff. Yeah, they're gonna come with voodoo, but it's gonna get let's see here. It's gonna get back on them.
Yeah. Shoot, I'm Catholic. That stuff ain't gonna hurt me because God is more powerful.
Amen. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe people are doing this on TikTok. It's like, people take things way too personally on this app. To go into these crazy things,
Yeah.
I wonder who Joel is. Is he a friend of yours? Or?
Giovanni, it's that they hate Dominicans. A lot of people, have the expression to hate Dominicans, that they're attacking us in several ways. Spiritually is one of them.
See if we can get there's one that goes by Chicken Feather Morgan. Chicken Feather Morgan. There's another one called Abby. So if you share this live, they're probably gonna pop up here somehow.
Hello.
Hey guys, please tap the screen so I can get to 1,000, and they're not able to shut my live. Tap the screen. Can get it to 1,000. New to I mean, it's not very old. It just started last month. Like, I think actually it was in May, the very last days of May.
Good thing is that this live is exposing who they really are. This is what they really are about. Because I may not like somebody, I'm not gonna go do hex them or anything like that.
Yeah, these people are ridiculous.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting too. A lot of people. I will say this. I'll speak on my part. A lot of people are getting too. I don't want to say sensitive, but people are getting a little too hinged about
Morgan.
about people on this app. And I've only been doing panels or lives for the last 6 months, and people are getting upset just because somebody goes on somebody's live thinking that there's some sort of subscriber to stuff. And I keep on trying to tell people, look, I'm still fairly new to this app. I've had an account, this same account, for like the last couple years, but I've only been a video content dude for like the past year and a half, and I've only been doing lives and panels for the last 6 months. I've been hosting my lives only for the last just about 2 months now. So, and people are treating this like it's eons, like it's been forever and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm still new to this whole platform, and I'm only and plus I'm 35 years old, so
Right.
I was a little too active on Facebook, but Facebook is for older people now, so I gotta go into other avenues and talk about it.
But Yvonne, do you get the
35
amount
is old
of
now. 35
attacks?
is old now.
I mean, me personally, I don't consider myself that old, but we're talking about we're talking about
You're getting ahead of
millennial
yourself,
standards.
buddy. You're getting ahead of yourself.
No, I'm just being honest. Like, I'm talking about people younger than
Yvonne, do they give you this amount of attack in your page?
I've gotten a few based on the topics I've talked about. I've gotten a few. What do they call it? I've had a few lives where they tried to troll me and throw me under the bus, but I just be ignoring it because it's really just free publicity right at this point. So I know they're talking about me because of controversial topics I speak on my panels. But Giovanni knows. Giovanni knows about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
¿Quién es ese?
It's another one of these crazy guys.
A mí también me dijeron que me iban a hacer vudú, yo lo estoy esperando. Yo pienso que el vudú me lo voy a encontrar de camino cuando vayan a mi pueblo, cuando vayan a mi provincia, a Nicaragua.
What? They were
Que
also.
casi en Haití, le voy a decir, coño, pero te estaba esperando, ¿por qué no viniste?
Oh my God! So they're attacking you with voodoo too.
Yes.
Ay, sí, yo pienso que uno es idiota.
Wow. Oh my gosh! So careful, Dominicans! They're attacking us with voodoo now.
Dios
Yeah.
mío, pero cuando me enteré de eso, eso fue como una comedia. No paraba de reírme. Y ellos no saben que yo tengo algo que me protege. Ellos no saben. ¿Por qué esas personas que me han atacado por 4 años no vuelven y me atacan? Ellos, que le pregunten a esa persona qué le pasó.
Oh, what's going on?
¡Ey! Dracari.
Ande el diablo.
Cuidado que hacen brujería también.
Ellas estaban aquí ayer y yo le dije a una de ellas, a mí no me importa si Vejica es rusa, mitad rusa o es lo que sea, I don't really care. The reason why I come to her live y pongo mis puntos aquí es porque Vejica está haciendo un movimiento, un trabajo que muchos dominicanos no están haciendo. You get it?
Claro.
Y ella está poniendo puntos que son. Marjorie, tú me conoces, yo pertenezco a un grupo aquí en Nueva York que está con macho por lo que está pasando en Santo Domingo. Y yo dije, I come here because I support people that supporting Dominicans. ¿Cuál es el maldito problema? Es un ataque contra ataque que esa gente tiene.
No, but not only that, they're attacking us spiritually because now they're doing voodoo on me. They did
El
voodoo
vudú
on
le va a
Tati.
caer al que jode con magia negra. Y ellos saben que el que jode con el diablo, algún día temprano toda esa mierda le cae para atrás.
Exacto.
I'm sorry. I only believe in one thing and it's God. They can play the dirty shit. Allá ellos.
Oye, a mí me dijeron, Jenny, Caritaína, es el juguito de los guavos.
Pero, ¿quién le dijo a ella que el vudú es algo taíno? Si ellos son taínos, yo no entiendo.
Ellos están confundidos.
Candelo se dice, and I get the 21 division Dominican will do for you, bitches. First of all, los taínos no joden con vudú. That's one thing.
Eso no,
Yeah.
eso no es taíno. Eso no es taíno.
Eso no es taíno. What the heck they doing? Oh my God.
Yeah, like that's a really interesting point. Like they're claiming to be Taino, like the real Taino. They say they're wearing fake Taino, and then the minute that they are confronted about their fake tribes, they go directly to voodoo. Like what is that?
Ay Dios. Ay Dios.
Mira,
Ahí se ve lo
hubo una
falso que
tipa que le
son.
dijo eso a mi mamá una vez y la abuela me le dijo, atrévete para que te caiga la Biblia, te va dentro de la cabeza. La abuela mía se lo dijo así mismo, una mami estaba jovencita, así como se lo dijo a mi abuela y le dijo, te reprendo en el nombre de Dios. Esa tipa jamás en su vida, esa bruja volvió a pararse. Jamás volvió a pararse. Yo creo que ella se mudó de esa área.
It's the 21 division. They're talking about the whole country of
En el
DR.
barrio, los taínos no practicaban vudú, los taínos no eran ninguna de esa mierda. Yeah, he's Haitian. Ya ustedes me tienen harta con lo mismo. El vudú es algo africano, no es nada que tenga que ver con
Exactamente. Eso no es
taínos,
taíno.
digamos que no eran católicos, pero tampoco practicaban esa mierda de vudú.
Ruby, what is the 21 division Dominican? 20.
Esos son la vaina de palo, los santos. Yeah, pero que eso es cultural dominicano. Tiene una
Eso
mezcla
es
de
una cosa
cultura.
africana. Eso de palo, vudú,
Sí.
es africano.
Yo nunca he practicado eso. Yo nunca he practicado ni
tampoco.
estudiado
Mucha gente lo
eso.
practica
Y yo-
en Santiago. Mucha gente
Yo
lo
tampoco,
practica
yo me
alrededor.
crecí Yo me
Pero
crecí
es
allá.
depende como tú lo quieras poner. Ellos dicen que eso es el vudú dominicano. Yo me estoy volviendo loco. El vudú nada más le cae al haitiano, porque el haitiano es que lo practica, el dominicano no cree en esa vaina, nada más lo digo así.
Exactamente.
El vudú, yo tengo aquí en TikTok mucho tiempo y he escuchado pila de haitianos, Robin, te vamos a hacer vudú, y digo yo, ¡se pasé! Felicidades.
They said that to you?
Me excusa, ellos quieren hacer vudú, ¿por qué no van y hacen vudú en Haití para que se ponga
Sí,
mejor?
el país, Ve- Yeah.
Yeah.
Quiero escuchar a este tipo hablar que va a subir
Oh,
ahora.
listen to this one. Listen to this one. John01. As a Haitian, he practices it. Oh my God. It must be
That's your
John.
culture, but that's his culture. That's fine.
John,
If
it's probably your fault that
Espérate,
Haiti is doing
el
so
empeño, ¿tú
bad.
tienes algo que decir?
Si me permite, por favor.
The book. No, we don't hold that book. We don't hold that book. Yo vi el libro de que el vudú y la 21 Division, there's nothing to do. Ellos hicieron un libro y el autor que hizo ese libro, yo lo vi aquí en el curso de la universidad. Yo se lo dije a mi maestro, ese libro no tiene nada que ver con nosotros. Dominicano no es un practicante de vudú.
Señores.
El haitiano que ha migrado a República Dominicana ha traído eso allá, pero el vudú no es cultura dominicana.
Señores, los taínos no practicaban ese tipo de...
Espérate, que Imperio está aquí
cosas.
abajo, Imperio es haitiano.
Mira, yo
Los
sí,
taínos tenían chamano, tenían vejique, ¿ok? Eran personas que curaban las personas que tenían
Santo Domingo no utilizó
problemas.
vudú para liberarse. Dejen su vaina, dejen su vaina. Les respeto que ustedes practiquen su vudú, eso es su cultura, se le tiene su respeto.
Yo no les respeto, yo
No,
quiero que ellos hagan
espérate.
eso en su pueblo, en su país.
Karina, espérate. No me gusta estar voceando mucho. Yo quiero que tú me digas, mi Imperio, de cuándo a dónde el vudú tiene que ver con algo dominicano o taíno.
yo no sé decir la verdad, la verdad. Si yo voy a hablar por la verdad.
Sí,
puedo
habla
hablar
con la
cosas
verdad, por favor, que yo estoy
coherentes,
harta de
pero
mentiras.
no voy a ni a vocear a nadie ni a hablar
Pero
cosas
habla,
que
no
dicen
cantarle con violín, habla directamente al grano.
Oye, mira, directamente. Si uno va a hablar de Taino, de los ancestros, lo que están hablando ahí, yo me encuentro con poco conocimiento.
Mutense. Quiero
No se
escuchar-
oye, no se oye.
¿Cómo me oye?
Mutense todito, mutense.
Oye, él un poco no tiene mucho conocimiento sobre los Taínos, de las religiones, de lo que ellos practicaban, porque el cristianismo llegó mucho después. El cristianismo llegó al continente americano después de la esclavitud.
Sí, ese cristianismo,
¿Qué?
el cristianismo no tiene nada que ver con los taínos. Aquí nadie dijo eso. Nadie dijo eso.
El cristianismo llegó, el cristianismo de la cosa de la iglesia católica, mejor dicho, eso llegó con Colón en 1492.
Ahí es que ellos se enojan. Yo nunca dije que el cristianismo tiene que ver con taínos.
That guy left.
Oh
I
my
saw-
God! Listen to this person. It says John says voodoo is not a culture thing. As long as you're black or have some black DNA, you're free to practice. Oh my God!
Voodoo is culture because religion is part of the
Somebody has the
culture.
noise. Somebody has the noise.
Hold on.
It's the noise.
Religion is part of a culture. Every culture has their own religion. What are you talking about?
Marjorie, eso no es el problema. Muchos de ellos dicen que es religión, muchos de ellos dicen que es cultura. Yo no sé ni lo que es.
No, because
If it's
every
a
country
culture
has.
or religion, I don't really care. That's their belief. That's
Yes,
not Dominican. That's not
yes, I
Taino.
don't care if that's their belief. I'm saying that he's saying that it's not a culture. Voodoo
Pero
is a
que-
culture.
Listen to me, Marjorie.
It is.
Some of them said, hay un ruido. Can you mute yourself for a second, Mary? Si yo le digo, oye, ellos dicen, some of them said it's culture, some said that it's religion. I don't really care what it is. That's their practice, not Dominican or Taino practice. But it's not a Taino thing. That Dominicans got Taino culture and Catholicism and it's mixing, that's a different point. But then, oh hey, Adumas, but then they have their some Taino, whatever they inherit, and some voodoo, they want to mix it, that's their problem. Pero que no me van a decir a mí tú que el vudú tiene que ver con Taíno. Cuando no lo tiene que ver y tampoco. Oh, ve, mira, Dumas is a nice, decent, educated Haitian. Y él me lo ha dicho, sí, es una religión. I know Dumas.
Yeah.
Sí, es una religión.
Yes, Alex Dumas, but let me
ellos
respond.
odian a Dumas. Los haitianos odian a Dumas algunos.
Alex Dumas, but you know that religion, it is part of a culture, because if you go to Russia, what is their main religion?
Yeah. It's East,
you go to
Russian Orthodox. Yeah.
Most European countries, what is their religion? If you go to the Muslim countries, that's their religion, it's their culture. So we can't disconnect culture and religion, because religion is part of a culture. That's my point.
Right. And so also, like, if you were to go to different parts of Africa, they wouldn't practice voodoo. The voodoo is not part of their beliefs.
Yeah, it comes from Benin and Togo, like I was saying, because
Yeah.
if you really do the research on voodoo, right, a lot of places have it, but they call it a different name, or I should say there's a connection to it. Like Louisiana, they have a voodoo as well, and they also have Santeria in New Orleans. But the thing
Yeah.
is that I spoke to a friend, and he told me that the difference is that the Haitians are doing something very different than the rest of the voodoo communities, right? But I will be honest, it does look scary, even some of the stuff in Africa that I've seen in documentaries. But in Haiti,
Yeah.
it's even more scary because you see, you have zombies walking around in Haiti, right? People that come out the tomb, and they're being controlled by the the voodoo practitioner. And the U.S. government did a documentary on it many years ago and put it on PBS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you can even go on YouTube and see some stuff. There's like a guy who connected to one of the they call the spirit of voodoo Loa, like the different Loas, and I don't remember what this one was called, but when that spirit took a hold of him, he could eat a glass bottle, and there was
my
no
goodness.
bruises in his throat.
What?
So it's some serious stuff, and a lot of people do not make it out of it. I have a friend who was cursed by a voodoo sant person, and it was horrible. So I told him next time, go to the Catholic Church, because there's the exorcists, the ones that are trained in this stuff, the priests, they can really help you if you get into some serious trouble. And there's stories of like the rosary. I don't know if you know about the rosary, but the rosary is the beads that connects you with Jesus, Mother Mary. And there's been people who were like, I guess, hexed by voodoo, and the rosary, those prayers is what kept them safe from all of the evil stuff that was put on them.
Exactly.
It was probably the rose petals.
Well, traditionally, rosary was made out of rose petals, but it's not enough for that to work, because the thing is that I've met countless Catholics throughout the years who use different rosary beads. I forgot, there was a killer. Sorry to use this term, unaliver. I forgot, it's Jeffrey Dahmer. And there was one particular person that he never got to do anything bad to, and this lady fell asleep with a rosary in her hand. So when Jeffrey Dahmer had opened the door, there was some sort of weird force that pushed him out. And so the priest came to see her because he was wondering why she survived. And so she said that she promised her mom she would say the rosary every night before bed. And so the funny thing is, when Jeffrey Dahmer ended up in prison, the same priest that went to visit this lady is the same priest that went to Jeffrey Dahmer. And Jeffrey Dahmer had asked this priest, why is it that he wasn't able to get to this lady? So there's countless stories of the power of the rosary and stuff like that. But I highly recommend it because even if you're not Catholic, it works and it's very effective.
Oh, well, from what I know is that the human mind is very powerful, and it has like a lot of communication with the energies that are around. And so the intentions that we have can be attached to the things that we hold that are personal to ourselves. So sometimes people say, oh, it's because of the rosary or the cross or something. But it's simply because they put that intention into it, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean,
So
Mary's a spirit. She's literally lives in heaven. What you can call that the spirit world, right? And she has an apparition that people have been seeing for centuries. And she gave this as a tool to connect with her and heaven and the angels and all that. So it's not the actual tool per se, but like if you had a rosary and you put it in front of someone who's possessed by demons, chances are nothing is going to happen. But if you pray with that rosary all the time, the energy is in there because of the prayers. And so that's why they say there were people who had put the rosary on people and the demons left them, right? So
well, what
there's
I
a
was
lot
saying
more
was
to it.
that, well, what I was saying is that anything, it could be anything that a person has or keeps with them, and puts their mind to it, then the energy, the communication is shared with the energies that are in that physical matter. And so that's just a quality of the human brain.
Well, I have to be honest with you, voodoo is very dangerous. It doesn't matter how positive thinking people are. Just even saying I cancel it negatively, if they have your here or they have certain things that belong to you, sometimes it depends, even if they have a picture of you. It is nothing to be played with. And a lot of people who, they can be Christian, but if they don't have a strong connection with God, they can die. And it happens all the time. It's not anyone who says you just have to think positive has never truly been in that kind of spiritual warfare. But you got to do some research on it. It's very, very serious. Nothing.
Oh no, I'm not. I am not saying that it shouldn't be taken seriously. There was someone that actually did like voodoo, and they did something. It was like they made like some kind of powders or whatever. They did like, it was just like in the movies. They put it in front of my door, and they did all kind of stuff,
They put it in
and
front of
I
your
felt,
door?
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
not here, not in my current house, but one of the previous houses that I was living in. They did that kind of stuff, and I knew who it was because I was the only person that could come into the place. So, but anyway, to return back on them, and their whole place filled with like this very terrible mold. It was terrible, like, and I got out of there. But they, every time they do those things, it always goes back on them. So,
That's
yeah,
good.
but I do acknowledge that they are able to make a mental connection with some kind of energy or power or whatever it is. But all I do is I do the same thing, except I have my own energy and power, and so they're not able to affect.
Oh, thank
So,
God for that. That's good. I don't know. John says this is not true. What's not true, John?
About you saying if you are into voodoo, you're gonna die.
it's really hard to hear you, John.
Oh, I said about you saying voodoo is something that's bad, and if you practice voodoo, you're gonna die and all that stuff. It's not true.
No,
It is
that's
bad.
that's not what I said. I said
It's
that.
not. Plus,
Well,
you
I
you
don't
were
think
wrong about the law thing, about the United States making a documentary about the laws. The laws are not what you think they are. They're like let's say people in your family who died like 100 years ago, and it's like your ancestors. So they're basically like your ancestor spirit that are connected with you. So just like a mom gives birth to a child, like when a woman carries a child, it's not just like a physical baby that it carries, but it also carries a soul. That's why your soul took birth inside of your mom. So when your mom gave birth to you, you're not just connected physically with her, but you're also connected spiritually. So it doesn't matter if you acknowledge if you're connected with your ancestors or not. Y'all may not acknowledge that, but it is true.
Well, you know, in any case, voodoo doesn't belong on the island of Quisqueya. It's not an indigenous practice, and it needs to be wiped off of this place completely. If you want to practice it, you need to go back to Africa. That's basically the message that we have.
So
Go back to Benin and to Congo and whatever and practice that shit over there.
I don't think.
okay, and where do you need to do that? So
I think voodoo is a religion, unlike you guys are saying. It's not you.
voodoo is not a religion.
Voodoo
Voodoo
is
is
not
like a way of life. Okay.
Voodoo's a religion. Like
Voodoo is
religions
not a
have no.
religion. It became a religion when the French people had to impose Christianity and that whole religion stuff. When religion became a thing, so people had to practice voodoo through saints. So when they're praying the saints, they had to like
They tied both. Yeah.
put spirits inside the saints or whatever. Right? They started praying to them. That's when it became a religion, but it was never a religion before. It was a way of life.
Yeah, that's the reason why it doesn't belong in Quisqueya, and that's why we don't want it here. That's why it has to go back to Africa.
Hold on, Gene. Let me answer. So why would you say it doesn't belong in Dominican Republic? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, it doesn't belong in the whole island of Quisqueya. It doesn't belong here.
The island is not called Quisqueya. It's called Haiti Boyo
It is
Quisqueya.
no.
Haiti Boyo Quisqueya. It has 3 names. So, number one,
No, there's
Haiti
no
is the-
Boyo.
Haiti-
You don't know
Haiti is a
anything
sovereign
about
country.
the island.
No, Haiti
You don't
is a
know
sovereign
anything
country,
about you don't know
just like
anything about
Dominican
the island of
Republic.
Quisqueya.
No,
You don't
they're
know
sovereign.
anything about the
No, they're
original
sovereign
peoples.
countries. They're 2 different countries. They're sovereign.
No.
The
That's
Haitians
not-
had slaves, and they brought their
There's
religion with them.
no Haiti Boyo. What does Boyo mean? What does Boyo mean?
That's part of the island. It's Haiti Boyo
Uh,
Quisqueya. It has 3 names. Look it up.
That's a bunch of
you don't
bullshit.
need to laugh because you,
You
need to
don't-
look
you-
it
you
up
don't-
and do
you
your
don't- you
research.
don't know
It
what
has 3
Boyo
names.
means.
It has Haiti Boyo
Bologna
Quisqueya.
salami.
That's the name.
That's bologna salami. Bologna salami.
Okay, that's your
Yeah,
opinion, but they're both sovereign countries. They're both sovereign
Boyo
countries.
does not mean
They're
mean nothing
both
about no name of no
sovereign
island.
countries. They're both sovereign countries.
Hold on, I got a
You can't
question. I
separate
got a
one
question.
from the
I
other.
got a
They're both.
question.
Okay, yeah, this guy is just make believe.
Hold on, I got a question.
What is it, Tash?
So why do you talk about Haiti every day? How come you don't talk about real shit that's going on in the DR? So what's the I don't get it.
Why you have a failed state? But anyway, yeah, like there's a lot of Haitian people on here trying to make believe that they have some kind of
fake Taino.
like you have like some.
Haiti's a failed state
Yeah,
because
you're the one who's
that's what I
fake.
was
You're a bunch of crazy people. So anyway, yeah. So the thing is that Boyo
The only
is
reason
that
that you Dominican people have what you guys have, or y'all are saying y'all much better than Haitians, is because y'all bound.
John, Alex, Boyo is a Taino word that just means a hut. That's all it means. Okay. It doesn't have. It is not a name of an island or anything. Boyo does not have anything to do with an island name. It just means a hut. That's all. Boyo means hut. That's the name of. That's the word for our old like traditional dwellings.
Okay,
It has
so
nothing to do with
it means
island.
hut. Let's say that's fine. But there's 2
That is what
sovereign
it means.
countries. We can't say that one is on top of the other. They're 2
Why are
different
you calling the whole island a hut?
They're 2 sovereign countries. That's fine. But they're 2 separate countries. So it doesn't really matter. One country has the voodoo and one
The
country
voodoo
doesn't.
is a foreign religion, a practice. It does
Africa.
not belong. It does
From
not
Africa.
belong on this island. It doesn't belong on this island. It's foreign. It needs
But
to be
the Africans
trashed.
brought it.
It
So
needs to be
doesn't matter.
trashed. It needs to be trashed.
It's a religion. Why
Okay,
would it
it's
be
trash. It's
Why would it be
trash.
trash?
Because it's disgusting and it doesn't belong here.
How's it disgusting? Is
It's
Santeria
disgusting.
disgusting? Is Santeria disgusting?
It's disgusting.
So Santeria is disgusting.
Well, whatever. I don't care. I don't practice it anyway.
No, nobody practices. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that there's two sovereign countries. One practices something, the other one doesn't. That's their freedom.
Yeah, that's why
That's
we
their
don't want you
freedom
to
to-
be here. That's why we don't want you in our country because you practice that shit.
I'm not in your country, so I don't know what you're talking about.
They want El Blanqueamiento, peace and love. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, the voodoo is a failure. That's why the country over there is so disgusting and trash. And
Voodoo's not
you
a
have so many
failure.
people running. Yeah, it is. It is a failure. It was always a failure. It doesn't belong on the island. And you need to stop.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop trying to use it to hurt Dominican people, because
Who's
it's
using it
just
to hurt
it's
Dominican
just.
people? I'm not hurting
Don't
anybody.
you see?
I'm
Don't
here
you
in
don't you
United
see the
States. I
screen?
don't know
Don't you
what
see the
you're talking
screen?
about.
All your crazy people in the United States, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, you all trying to use voodoo. It sounds like really so stupid.
That's a practice that people do. They have the right. That's their freedom.
Pasa. Entendí algo, ¿qué es lo que está
I
pasando?
don't know. This chatting page is ridiculous. I'm out.
Okay, bye, Dumas. Dumas.
Esta gente está loca, esta gente son
Yeah.
maniáticos. Dios mío, ¿qué diablo de gente trajo Colón a mi maldita isla? ¿Qué gente de Castro?
That's why the Europeans brought these reprehensible people over here, because they wanted to use it against the Taino. So they're still doing their job. It's terrible.
Fuck you.
Listen to this
Nunca
person.
van a
Your
poder-
boy Ren.
Nunca van
Why
a
does
poder.
everybody have a problem with you, Bejique? Look at that.
Nunca van a poder, nunca. Aunque si desapareciéramos todos los taínos, nunca van a sustituirnos, porque no somos la misma. No somos la misma persona. Esa gente son mitómanes.
Where is this person? This stupid person.
¿Qué?
No, this person is. This is another one of those stupid people. I think this
Pero
is
¿por
the
qué ella no
Abby.
viene acá a hablar?
This is the Abby person. Praying for Congo. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're praying for Congo. ¿Qué está pasando aquí? ¿Cuál es la vaina que traen ustedes? Yeah, those are Daniel Rivera. Those are the people that are doing this crazy shit. You see these Puerto Ricans and Cubans, you see? These are them. This is the characters that are doing this stuff. They're constantly making attacks on everybody who comes to my live.
¿Qué es eso que dice?
Yeah, they made videos about you, Carita.
¿Qué? ¡De la gran puta! ¿Qué es lo que dicen?
Yeah, they do. They're making more and more videos about you every day.
Oh.
Yeah, did you? Yeah.
Ay, Dios mío, somos la pesadilla de esa gente. Ellos no pueden dormir.
They make videos lying about who we are. They lie about our families. They say they know where we live. They do all kinds of things. Doxing. It's just terrible.
Mira las 18 tribus, 18 tribes,
Ajá. Yeah.
Yeah.
Una estrella. Engineer Jack says, tú eres una estrella también, Carita. Yeah. I look strung out and tired. Yeah,
Gracias,
so what?
Daniel. Te queremos mucho.
Guess what, Taj? You know what? I'm not interested in putting on makeup and all
Ahí
kinds of
está.
stuff. You know, like you want to say my hair is tired. Yeah, you know, like this is my natural hair. You know what I mean? And then so people are going to be making fun of my hair, making fun of my skin, making fun of my eyes. But is that really what the reason why? Are you really angry at my hair? Or is it because the things that I say, the things I talk about? You know? I mean, this is not about my hair. Danielle Rivera, yes. Yes, they are threatening. Yeah, they have threatened my life many times. I spread misinformation. No, the reason why you're making personal attacks is because the information that I share actually is burning you. That's what it is. The things that you want to do to me with the voodoo and all this shit, that you're trying to retaliate because of the information that I have is burning you. The voodoo stuff that you are feeling, you think it's voodoo. I don't practice voodoo. But what happens is that in voodoo, when you do things on somebody that believes in the voodoo, then then you start to feel those things. And that's what happens. Sí, él es un haitiano, un dominicano francés. Look at this. Look at what these people are doing. Look at this shit. Contraria, look at this shit. Now they are targeting people. They're targeting the people who come on the lives with voodoo. Sí, le gusta doxear, exactly. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, they're stupid. El vudú no sirve, eso está correcto, eso sí. No les sirve para nada. Ellos piensan que ellos van a ganar a República Dominicana con el vudú. Es una risa de los siglos. Todo lo tenemos bloqueado. I thought of voodoo as being like black witchcraft. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, they have like, I don't know how many accounts, but they have so many accounts with me, with my name, with my photo, and it's just all voodoo and a bunch of craziness. Si el vudú funcionara, Haití no fuera una letrina, eso es cierto. That's true. Yeah. These people, they're just mentally sick. If you put in my name on TikTok, if you search my name on TikTok, then you will find a bunch of them. Tosh, you know what? You're just a troller. That's what you are. Dominicans get deported from DR every day. What? ¿Qué pienso de la santería? I don't practice Santeria. I don't believe in any of that either. So, hi Chicano Strange. Thank you for saying beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. I don't use makeup when I get online. I'm not using a ring light now, so like when the shadows catch my eyes, it has little shadows or whatever, but I don't mind. I don't really care. I don't think it's important what people see. I think people should pay attention more to the things that I'm talking about. I do my nails, look, that's it. It's relaxing for me. It wouldn't help you out anyway. Okay, you know what, Taj? I'm just gonna block you, motherfucker. You're just an idiot. That Taj, you're so stupid. But yeah, seriously, like I don't really care how people see what. I mean, obviously I have to be decent, but other than that, I don't care what people think they see. I really don't. It's actually not easy to find hair products in Dominican Republic that are good for my hair, because everything is like for Afro hair. It's like so much Afro stuff. It's like either you do Afro hair or you do what's it called, like the lisar. But my hair is a very fine strand, so it's not easy for me to find hair products. But I tried to use some Afro hair products, and it doesn't do well for my hair. It's not. I don't like it.
¿Cuál es el problema con tu cabello? ¿Qué estás diciendo ahora?
They're saying that my hair looks fried and ugly and all this kind of stuff, but
Ay, Dios mío. Ay, Dios, mira, pregúntale que si las cascoles tuyas son lindas también. Dios mío.
Yeah, I blocked him. But like when I see people doing threatening things, like they're threatening people who come up on my lives, I publish it right away because it's really shameful.
Oh my God. Pero ellas se están fijando de tu pelo cuando están las africanas diciendo que son taínos, que no tienen ni pelo. ¿Y qué es lo que están hablando? Yo no entiendo. Usan pelucas.
Aguacate, coco, sí, eso sí ayuda. Y la yema del huevo.
Y el sol que hace en República Dominicana es muy fuerte. Pone el cabello dry.
Yeah.
Muy fuerte. A mí también.
Yeah. Yeah, when they try to attack people, I just publish it right away to let people know what's going on. But that's it. And one thing is that when people are online, you can't really see how a person looks, So when I am in public, they won't really recognize me. That's another reason why I don't try to change my appearance. When I go in public, I will do my hair and everything else, but online it's a waste. Makeup is very expensive, especially the makeup that I use is very expensive, and I don't see the purpose of spending money to impress these stupid people. because they're going to attack anyway. And yeah, I try to use natural hair products. But yeah, I just came here to show my friends what they're doing on these pages. Ever since I started talking about the fake tribes, these people have been attacking like nonstop. Jimmy R.
¿Dónde está el ingeniero? Ya no está ahí, ya no. Ya se fue, ahora que estoy viendo sus mensajes.
Pues carita, voy a cerrar el live porque ya.
Ok.
Sí.
Ok,
Ok, adiós, chao.
Vamos, bye.